Two huge events are about to take place. One, edgeofplay.com is about to go live. And two, World Cup 2018 is starting in less than 2 weeks. To celebrate these two equally seismic events, Edge of Play will be releasing a series of World Cup vlogs. The aim is to come at this from a coaching perspective as opposed to a fan perspective. So I'll be looking to be a little bit less emotional, if possible, and instead look at it from a more analytical point of view. I want to look at tactics, I want to look at the philosophies of the coaches and their approaches. I want to look at certain skills and techniques and then try and relate them back to the training pitch. You'll be able to access our vlogs via our Facebook page, via our YouTube channel, and of course on our website itself as it goes live. Would welcome you to join in the discussions that I'm hoping will be generated from these vlogs. So hopefully the vlogs will enable us to discuss things and get ideas that we can take back to our own clubs. For this first vlog, I'm going to look at the England versus Nigeria friendly match, a preparation for the World Cup for both sides. I'm going to focus more on the England team in this game. 3 centre-backs. We've then got the wing-backs who really do bomb on. We had very much one holding midfield player in Eric Dyer. We then had a very attacking choice to have Dele Alli and Jesse Lingard in the attacking midfielders. You've then got Kane and Sterling. It was a very fluid 3-5-2, which I'll come on to shortly. Nigeria have often been known to play a 4-3-3 formation in recent times. Their formation was something of a 4-3-3 to 4-2-3-1, but of course that formation changed in the second half, and we'll look at how that affected things as well. One of the first things that really stood out to me in the game was Jordan Pickford, the goalkeeper. How confident he was to play out from the back. Even under pressure, he's very comfortable playing out to his centre-backs, who were both happy to pull wide. John Stones in the middle there and receive the ball. Even when pressured by a player, if the ball came back, he was very happy to control and just play the ball out. When he was put under a lot of pressure and they tried to press us quite high, he was very, very confident too to turn out and play the ball straight out to the wing-backs. And beat this initial press that the Nigerians did. It wasn't just to the centre-backs, he'd often play the ball into these little areas here. He was happy to pick out a gap, wait for someone to close him down, then play through the gap. Very confident to do that. In a way I've not seen from past England goalkeepers. I look at when Joe Hart's played there, going further back at David James. The ball had come to them and it was just not long. Any kind of danger, the ball was just knocked away. A lot of that, I presume, comes from the coach. So he's obviously being told he wants him, Southgate saying, I want you to play out from the back, I want you to stay calm and composed. But Jordan Pickford seems the right man to do that at the moment. With this approach, I just wonder whether the England fan base are going to be patient enough with it. If there's a mistake, a ball is misplayed and they end up conceding a goal, if it doesn't always get a plan, do they stick with this way of playing, or does it become a thing of fear where it's a case of need to get the ball cleared? But we'll have to see whether, when the first mistake happens, whether things change very quickly or whether they stick to a belief that this is the way to play. So it was a very bold decision, arguably, to play Lingard and Dele Alli, both in like an attacking midfield kind of role. The exciting thing of that was the movement that came from here, the amount of movement these players were prepared to do. Lingard, especially with his movement, Dele Alli linking up with Sterling quite a bit as well. So one of the interesting things that I noticed in the game was the amount of times that we'd been on the attack, Nigeria just won the ball back, and they would try and play the ball through into their midfield in this area here. But whenever they did, or several times when they did that, they played it in, it was intercepted. They were just on their way back, we just lost possession, and they were in this area a lot. Sterling and Kane had certain freedom, they didn't have to come charging back, they were able to just pick up spaces here. So when the ball was played into this area, we had a lot of players around the ball, won the ball back, and then they could counter-attack at pace. You have to get your wing-backs forward. If you don't, it can very quickly become a 5 at the back. If you keep losing possession straight away, you don't get these guys up the pitch. Because they built play quite well, and Nigeria were not building their play well and often giving the ball away, we were able to get wing-backs forward a great deal, and that gave us real width. Because we had Sterling, Kane, Ali supporting, Lingard making runs, the centre-backs didn't know whether to stay central and cover a lot of these runs here, or to come and support their full-back. If the winger didn't get back in time, it ended up being a one-on-one. If he comes out, these big spaces here. Sterling ended up in these kind of areas for chances on goal. Lingard got into this area several times, causing lots of problems. Another real notable aspect of the first half was the fluidity of movement of the England team as well. There was a freedom about their play. One interesting example I noticed was when Kyle Walker, I think he'd had to beat a man and turned away from him, used his pace well, and he played the ball out here. But what was nice there was no big panic to go sprinting back to position. Dyer simply slipped into the right centre back position, and Kyle Walker actually stayed in here for a moment, and I think the ball actually came back into him, was played out the other way. So there was no kind of panic about a player moving out of position. That was nice to see. Another example of that would be when Kane dropped deep to get the ball and players made space for him to do so. So we didn't have three set midfielders on top of each other. Whenever we got the ball, there was fluid movement straight away to try and stretch the Nigerian defence and defensive midfield. And Kane comes, gets the ball, turns, because the space has been opened up for him by these movements. The ball ended up getting played over the top for Sterling. Probably should have done better with the finish, but he's getting those positions again and again. On defending corners, they were happy to leave two players up, like Sterling and Lingard left up front. That then meant that Nigeria's reaction was to keep three players back, and it means you've got more space. If you trust your goalkeeper to come for crosses, you trust your defenders to actually win their one-to-one battles, you don't mind having that extra space in the 18-yard box. And it means they are looking for a counter-attack. From defending a corner, that is always on that option to attack quickly with the pace. Also on set pieces, you could say it is often a strength for England. They scored again from one. With playing three centre-backs, and you've got a set midfielder who can play centre-back as well, plus a centre-forward who's handy in the air, that may well be something that England uses as a real strength in matches to attack set pieces. Some of the things that I noticed that perhaps weren't as positive for England, well, a lot of them came in the second half. When they were attacking, we had a wealth of opportunities. You had wing-backs getting forward, you've got two set midfielders moving out into wider positions and making runs between defenders. That fluidity of movement caused the Nigerians problems. Second half, Nigeria matched up England's formation almost. So all of a sudden, the wing-backs became a one-to-one battle, and they almost nullified each other. And their build-up play was a bit more measured at first. They could play into here, out to here, so they could build up the play and see where these two were going. Nigeria has to start to pick out passes into these two areas, either side of Eric Dyer. Once you get to there, you end up with a situation where there's a player turning, England were having to retreat, we've got a striker making runs for balls through here, and at the very least they're getting shots off from here. England would win the ball back, and then you have the same thing, because they've left this space. You can have space either side of the centre midfielder, and it ends up being a bit of a lottery. It ends up being end-to-end, not one team controlling the game. Now, if you want to go toe-to-toe, that might well work against Nigeria. It might work in certain games where you have better firepower, stronger firepower than the opposition. Will that work if you go toe-to-toe with, say, Belgium, stronger sides, if you get through to the knockout stages? That's what you'd have to be not worried about, but aware of as the England team. England have tended to do in the past, and sort of did here, the attacking movement stops. We get more and more rigid with our formation to try and stop what the opponent's now doing. If you're going to do this fluid attacking play, you have to commit to that, I think. One thing for England over many tournaments is about retaining possession. Can you, at the right moments, if it's you're ahead and you've been under some pressure at the start of the second half, can you get your foot on the ball, move it around, not just at the back, inviting pressure, or here, but playing the ball forward, back, forwards again, so the opposition actually back off? Can you buy yourself some time to get control of the game again? If not, and you end up with a situation where you can't get the ball out, and you end up with this, attacking players playing deep, Sterling and Kane in a massive space, and an opponent that's happy to camp in your half, this could be the problem. So that's the end of the first blog. I hope you found it interesting. Feel free to comment on it and give your own opinions. Thank you for watching. Please like our Facebook page, subscribe on YouTube, and subscribe to the website if you could, and keep in touch with the video World Cup blogs.